Hello YouTube, I'm Shane.
And I'm Caden.
He's a little man.
And welcome to the shed.
Alright guys, I thought I'd give you a quick overview of the Jeep. Now I'm sure you've seen it in the background of plenty of the videos, and we did kind of introduce it a little bit in that intro video mentioning it. But here's a bit more of an in-depth go over on it. Reason being is that we have a few bits and pieces to install on it coming up, and we'll make some videos of that. First off, I can hear you, but Shane, in the same household, you now have 2 project cars. And don't worry, I'm thinking the same thing as you.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
But you know what? We'll manage, see what happens, and go from there. So basically, a couple of years ago, we bought this. It was the typical buy as stock as a rock off a little old couple that liked the look of them. Bought it as an ex-demo. It's a 2012 JKU. For those that don't speak Jeep, JK is the shape of it, and U is unlimited, 4 doors. It's the first of the 4-door models that came out. I said 2012 model, well, sorry, JK was the first of the 4-door models that came out. And yeah, this is a 2012 model. It's got a 3.6 V6 petrol in it. And that's pretty much the overview of it. I said all this stuff I've done in either this shed or where we lived previously. I've done everything. I haven't taken it to a shop to get things done. They're a great vehicle. I've never had a problem with it. There's a bit of history. I had a 80 series Land Cruiser with the almighty factory turbo diesel 1HDT in it before I got this, and I'll take this over the Land Cruiser any day. Yep, them's fighting words, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, let's can't really think of too much else, so let's get into what has been done. Alright, so seeing as I was at the front of the vehicle, let's just start here. So as you can see, straight up, bar work, off-road animal bar. I chose this one because 1, it's engineered in Australia, and 2, it's quite lightweight. It's about half the weight of certain other Australian companies that are maybe 3 letters long, that in my personal opinion don't do a good job for Jeeps at all. Other than that, it's got the steady cube lights in it as a replacement for the fog lights. Just an X-Bull winch. It's a 14,000 pound winch. At the moment, the rope's off it. Basically the story of that goes, I had to pull myself out of a bit of a bog, see if I can find a picture and throw it up a while back, and didn't spool the winch on properly, or the rope on properly, and it ended up wrecking it. I've got a new rope to go on. Moving on from that, we've got Ultra Flex LED headlights. They've been ADR tested. Again, particular reasons why I chose them rather than cheap eBay rip-offs. And then just the front blinkers and the side markers kind of match with that little dotted look. On the bonnet, we got some Daystar bonnet vents. They actually pull some heat out of the engine bay, believe it or not. I'm still trying to work out how to get some more out. I might end up putting another big vent in the front here. We'll see what we can find. Let's see, snorkel. Snorkel's an Ironman 4x4. Now, that's not actually available in Australia. I found it on Ironman America's website. Australia had one in stock, but wouldn't sell it. Somehow my local dealer convinced the warehouse to sell it to me, so I'm not aware of anyone else that has one in Australia. Around the back, unique bar work. Again, good quality bar, designed in Australia, and yeah, it does the job. I like the look of it. It's got some lights built into the back of it. Relocated the number plate, the usual type stuff. LED rear tail lights as well. Again, I've got the theme going of all like kind of little dotted LEDs. Again, just what I particularly like. Wheels, they're not over the top. They're Simmons wheels, 17x9s, and they're just 265/70 R17s. I can't remember off the top of my head what size that relates to in bald eagle units, probably 32s. Not overly huge. I didn't want to go overly massive. They work for me. Got the suspension in it. So there was no particular lift kit available straight off the shelf that I particularly liked. Not that there was anything wrong with them, but didn't meet what I really wanted it to do. Or wasn't complete as I would like it. The Australian brands, I'll say it, they're junk. You're getting charged a premium price for sub-quality products compared to what's available in America. Or the American brands, at least you can get them here as well. Go to a Jeep specialist, and some of them have their own springs or rebranded springs and different bits and pieces. So I cobbled together bits really, and made a kit for myself. So essentially, up the front here, you have well, all around we have Murchison flexi coils. They're 2.5 inch lift, and I've got a set of Rancho RS9000 adjustable shocks that are suited for a 4-inch lift. Basically, I went for them because the compressed length was barely longer than their 2-inch option, but their travel and their extended length was a lot more. So I was happy to forgo a little bit, and they're adjustable all the way through. So, and there is a big noticeable difference. I've changed it from 1 to 9, and you do notice a very big difference. Panhard rod and upper and lower control arms. They're all the adjustable Road Safe Blackhawk. Yeah, all adjustable all around, front and rear. And I've also got airbags in the rear because this was designed and built for towing. The suspension itself, the setup, I'm not going to say it doesn't have huge travel. It's got enough. It's not a rock crawler. I didn't make this for a rock crawler. I built this to be, this is my daily driver car. That's why it's not over the top. Not saying people can't daily drive over the top, but this is for me. Yeah, so this is my daily driver. I want it to be comfortable. It was a vehicle that I've got to take the family away on road trips, which we've done quite a few times. Done a bit of touring, overlanding, whatever the hell you want to call it. And we did have a camper that we towed around with it. We sold that, but we're going to be buying another one. So yeah, it's set up more as a long distance tourer and a towing camper kind of rig, rather than a find the hardest, stupidest rock to bounce up and break things. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you're into, go for it. It's just not what this is built for. So I bought components that would suit my needs. Alright, if we move into the interior, first thing I want to point out is how far these doors open out. You can see how far that is. Same with this one. Opens right out 90 degrees. Now they're through door hinge extensions. There. And this one here. Alright, all the way around. They are manufactured and sold by a fellow Jeeper in Brisbane named Adam Maynard. Yeah, brilliant. We packed this for going away, and you would not believe how much easier it is with the doors that open out like that. Yeah, jump on any of the Australian Jeep pages and search him. He sells them. They're great. Love them. On the doors themselves, everyone that's owned a JK would know the shitty little baskets that you have. I've replaced all mine. These are just off eBay, but yeah, they're great. They slot into the spot where the basket used to be, and it came with a with one pocket, and I just bought a second one off eBay, and yeah, just throw stuff in. Same with the back. I got these ones off Amazon. They are actually designed for the front, they're not for the back, but again, just shitty nets, and I didn't like any of the ones that were available specifically for the back. Took a gamble, bought these. Again, 2 pockets on them, and they don't sit perfect, just the way the door trim is designed, but I'm still much happier with them than the shitty pockets that were there. Stereo got updated. I couldn't believe that 2012 they still came out with with what they come out with. Plain and simple junk as far as I'm concerned. So upgraded this. This unit's just the straight bolt-in 7-inch joying unit. On top of that, we got the speakers. You can't see them in there, but the 4 speakers around have been replaced with the Kicker speaker upgrades. Kicker did an upgrade or whatever they did with them. When I pulled the boxes out, because Jeep's a bit individual, where they've got individual speaker boxes on either side. Can't really see that one, but then up in the roll cage bar as well, they've got individual boxes where the speakers live. Now, when I pulled them out, I lined those boxes with sound deadener and filled them full of polyfill as well. I'm not crazy on listening to loud doof stuff, but all of that certainly made the sound quality much nicer. Keen eyes might have noticed this. Anyone that knows what that is, so it's HP Tuners MPVI2 tuning module. Yep, I'm tuning this vehicle. We'll go through that a bit later on if you want me to, but yeah, usually it just plugs into the OBD2 port and connects into the laptop, and then I log 120 odd engine parameters on driving, and yeah. Right, anyone that knows the JKs, well, at least the early ones, will know that this back looks very, very different. Usually there's a nice big subwoofer sticking out here and intruding right into where you want to put your cargo. So I've removed that, bought the later model trim panel. Funnily enough, you need this little piece up here as well for that, because the 2 don't match. Anyway, took the sub out, replaced it with this trim panel, so now it's flat. The sub is sitting under the floor in the little cargo space area that you call. I made a box and everything for that. Designed and made a floor to fit over the top of it, and there is also a drawer that I have that can bolt on either side. It takes up half the width, so it can actually bolt on either side just through 3 bolts at the back, 3 or 4 bolts. Very easy to remove, and very easy to swap sides depending on where I want it, really. Other than that, again, Adam Maynard sells these trays, bolts straight in, make so much use of the area that's just over the 2 guards here, all over just that area, that would otherwise not be used. So this is how I travel all the time. I've just got a compressor sitting on that side at the moment. There's just tyre repair kit sitting in there. I've got a toolkit and the rest of my recovery gear underneath the rear seats. They live there. Other than that, I've got the XG Cargo roll cage bags, and just have random stuff stored into those ones. First aid kit always comes with me. I don't think there's anything in this one. Let's see. Oh, that's jump starter. Forgot about that. Again, always be prepared. Have actually had to help people out on the side of the road before. I've modified this a little bit. Again, people would know that the subwoofer had a little 12-volt outlet down the bottom. I've modified it, made a little bracket to bolt onto here, which makes it a bit more user-friendly. USB outlets and the standard cigarette lighter outlet. These aren't wired in yet, that's why they're just kind of sitting there. That's why this isn't painted nicely and looks all pretty. It's just been sitting there, and I got to get off my butt and finish it off. Same on this side. You'll know from the previous videos that I have a battery box that can fit in either one, but I can put it here. I actually have, the reason it's on this side is I have some twin core 8mm, however you want to call it, wire running up underneath this trim panel. I'm going to splice into it and sit an Anderson plug here so I can charged with a DC-DC charger. I'll go into a bit more detail on what I did with this back in another video, because there's a fair bit to it with the design work and everything, but that's about it. Right, under the bonnet, nothing crazily overly special at the moment. It's a 3.6 litre V6, the Pentastar engine, great little engine. I've put an air raid intake on it, so big ass dry filter in an air box, obviously fed by the snorkel. Big pipe work. I put on some heat wrap to try to cool those intake temperatures down a little bit. Believe it or not, it does a little bit. Yeah, anyway, there's further plans for this, and we'll get into that in a second. Alright, just like all good Jeepers, I have plenty of things that I want to do to it, and I have a shelf full of things waiting to go onto it. If anyone tells you that their Jeep project is finished, they should not be trusted, because they are a liar. Anyway, let's get into what I've got. I've pulled them off the shelf and got them sitting on the ground. There's a lot of them more that I didn't realise. Anyway, some mundane things and some things that I'm sure will make people twitch. Anyway, let's get into it. So starting with some more mundane things. US style Jeep number plate. It moves the number plate from on the tail or on the tyre where it is off to the side there. Just the way I like it like that better. I like that look, so got to sort that out with the wiring for the light and everything like that. It's kind of held me up a little bit. Alright, as I stated before, my winch rope was broken. I've got a brand new one. Fortunately it's blue, couldn't get it in red, but that's from George 4x4. It's where I've got all my recovery kit from, soft shackles and everything. Can't recommend him highly enough. Great to deal with. Yeah, he works out of Brisbane somewhere, and yeah, makes some good quality Aussie products again. Small Aussie company. This one is the Tough Toys, what do you call it, panhard brace and steering brace. Anyway, this is a brand new product from them. I put a pre-order in for it when he released it. I don't know if there was any 4 right-hand drive vehicles beforehand. Only a handful of companies in the US made them. This one, again, small Aussie company. This has been engineered, well, it's been approved or looked over by an engineer in Queensland. I'm not into unboxing videos and install videos, but this is a brand new product. I will go over it and post that up for you guys, for us putting it on. And for the owner, Steve. Sorry mate, we'll get around to it soon, I promise you. Alright, moving on to some engine-y kind of parts. Anyone that is familiar with the Pentastar engine knows that the engine oil filter housing, this part, is usually plastic and is prone to breaking, well, cracking and leaking oil. Let's face it, most of the time that is because people monkey fist the cap on, and it ends up cracking somewhere in the housing. Mine currently has 180,000 Ks on it, absolutely no problem whatsoever. That said, I still am upgrading it. So this is the Dorman, genuine Dorman, not an Amazon ripoff. Genuine Dorman aluminium housing. I've bought the full kit. Quickly in 2014, I think it was, they did a bit of a revision on the oil filter housing. So I had to buy the full kit rather than just the housing itself. So it came with a new actual oil cooler, and everything as well. I believe that is slightly bigger than the old one. So yeah, that will be going on in the near future as well. Right, and while we're talking about Dorman aluminium upgrades, again, genuine Dorman product, the thermostat housing, again, plastic. That one does just randomly degrade and break over time. Again, I haven't had a problem with mine, luckily enough, but can't hurt to bulletproof it. Yep. So this one comes with a thermostat. Now, interestingly enough, The factory thermostat on a Pentastar opens at 210, 220 degrees Fahrenheit, bald eagle units, which is 105 for us in the rest of the world-ish, around that. This one is a 180 degree thermostat, which pushes that down, opening down to 80, 85, something like that, degrees Celsius. As I said, I'm tuning the vehicle so I can make the most of this. Opening early, changing the fan speed and everything like that. Let's start moving on to a few more controversial things. All right, what do we got here? This is a lower intake manifold. Now, in 2016, Chrysler redid the Pentastar engine, named it the PUG, stands for Pentastar Upgrade. They did a whole heap of things to the external and internal parts of the motor. One of the things, and basically it gave it a bit more power, a bit more fuel efficient, all that usual stuff that companies do. Now, this lower, they bolts onto the earlier models. What it did was it moved the injector point down and opened up the runner a bit more, essentially increasing the volume, increasing the runner length. Lots of people have done this modification and reported good benefits from it. To go with the lower, we have new injectors. Now these, again, one of the things that was an easy changeover for them. From the PUG motor to the non-PUG motor. What I should say as well is that PUG motor wasn't available in every single vehicle. It was only, I can't remember which ones now, but it slowly made its way through. I believe every vehicle now in 2023 has the PUG motor in them, but it only slowly filtered through. Anyway, injectors. So these are the same flow rate as the ones I have now. Can't remember exactly what they are, but what they have is, you can't see it on there, but they're 8-hole injectors instead of the old 4-hole ones. Basically, same flow, more holes, smaller holes. Atomizes the fuel better. Again, people have put them in, there's straight bolt in. And before you go saying it, like I said, I have a tuner. I can actually adjust the injector data in that, but being a factory part, I'm undecided as to whether I actually need to or not. I really need to look into the PUG tunes and see what it says, but that's easy enough to do. Not expecting massive gains or anything like that. All reports say it idles and revs nicer with them. And atomizing the fuel, where you're going to get a cleaner, better burn when you're atomizing it better. Moving on, now here we go, spark plugs. I'm not one to believe that the spark plugs are going to give you massive power difference. What I can say is a friend in America that is tested these on his Pentastar powered vehicle. Have a lot of respect for him. Has done huge amounts of development work on that engine. Put them in as one of his tests and actually gained power out of them. I can't remember how much. It wasn't a huge amount, maybe 4 or 5 horsepower. And it was a consistent across the board, swapping back to the iridiums or whatever they're usually in it. Lost it, put these back in, gained it. So I'm going to put these in. Again, my plug's probably due for replacement anyway, so that's why they're going in. Moving into a few more controversial things. Like I said, I'm a bit of a performance guy, so I have a new snorkel here, or another snorkel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that section out here so I can feed it better feed into the airbox itself. I'll get a bit more free flowing. As you can see, having the air do a 90 and then a 90 is not the best for flow. Anyway, I'll do that. I'm going to wrap up the rest of the intake. over all the upper and lower intakes and the airbox. What do we have here? This is a crank pulley, lightweight crank pulley. Now I can already hear the typing of keyboards of people saying you need a harmonic dampener. These engines don't run a harmonic dampener, they run crank pulleys. It doesn't do any form of dampening. This was bought off a company, again in the US, Unorthodox Racing. These were made, they're not made anymore, not due to them malfunctioning or anything like that, due to lack of interest and people not buying enough of them for the company that was selling them from UR to keep going. I bought one of the last ones that was made. I've been meaning to buy one for a while. All I can say is that there are heaps of people running these for a long time and have not had any problems with their engines. I'm sure you've all been looking at this in the background. So what have I got here? I have an M90 supercharger and a wideband. That's just to measure the air-fuel ratio. Again, great tuning tool, need to wire it up, take the tuning to the next level. All right, as I said, M90 supercharger. This is off the old Holden Buick 3800 engines. My plan is to make an adapter plate that will go from this lower, have an adapter plate to an intercooler, and then this will sit on top of that. There is a lot of work that needs to go into it. There is a company in the US called Boosted Technologies that make a kit. I've tried contacting them to buy bits and pieces of it because, again, there's certain things of that kit that I don't like, but they have not responded, so it looks like I'm designing my own. They also don't run an intercooler. All right, so that's an overview of this project car, the OG one for this household. That's pretty much, I'm pretty sure I've covered it all. If anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to comment. I'm more than happy to discuss things, tell you what I've done, all that type of jazz. Anyway, have a good one. See you soon.